Hello everyone. I am super frustrated right now. I just came out of a game where a level 180 reinforced in between the bombs. That just reminded me of how many high level people make extremely silly mistakes. I am constantly being frustrated with this, and this is why I decided to help out. So here you have a rather quick overview on what to do and on what not to do when defending an objective. Starting off really easy with Rook. The first thing you do is you put your armor back down, armor up, preferably in the middle of the room, so everyone can pick up theirs and move on with their tasks. This is very important, as some operators like Cottonmouth and Jaeger have a lot of things to do, and they need to pick up their armor before they start roaming and deploying traps. After that you can start reinforcing walls and putting down barbed wire, as well as shields, and go start hunting drones. Now this is a thing that annoys me way too much. People never reinforce efficiently. I feel like they just pick some random wall, no matter if it's already being reinforced, and just slapping down their part as well. If I had slapped down my reinforcement right here, then all three of us had to run out and search for a second wall to reinforce, meaning there's 3 people busy for about 5 to 10 seconds. Which is a lot when you're playing, for example, Jaeger, and that leads me to a whole group of operators, which basically have to do the same thing, including Capcan, Jaeger, Valkyrie, Bandit, and Frost. The first 2 things you do is always reinforce and picking up your armor. That is so Jaeger and Bandit can put their gadgets onto the reinforced wall as soon as possible. I'm not gonna go too deep into the details of how every operator uses his gadget, but here's some really basic tips. As Valkyrie, don't put 3 cameras on the objective, try to split them up, get a good overview of your area, put them into blind spots, like over windows where enemies might come through. And remember that you can and sometimes should throw 1 or 2 cameras outside. For Capcan there's not much to say, just place your traps in convenient spots, and do not put any onto castle doors. Same goes for Frost, except don't forget that traps underneath hatches are sometimes very effective. I have one tip for playing Bandit. When you're camping the objective anyway, and you can hear a thermite putting a charge onto a reinforced wall, quickly put your battery underneath it, and if you're fast enough you will destroy the breaching charge. When playing Jaeger, don't place all your ADS in the same room. When they are too close to one another, they will both try and catch the same grenade, and that is just wasting resources. Don't place them too close to the hostage either, because an enemy grenade can just blow up the hostage, and that can win you a round. When you're holding a room far from the objective, you can also bring 1 ADS with you, so you can have some protection against the flashbang. Pulse and Smoke, on the other hand, have a really easy life. Just reinforce, pick up your armor, and off you go to hunt drones. Also, never reinforce in between bombs. Instead, shoot it open with a shotgun, so you have vision over both bombs, but be careful to not shoot your teammates. Don't use your C4, that's a waste. Also don't forget to open any hatches that lead into the floor below, so you have an escape route if fuse is clustering your room. The reason why Pulse and Smoke should do that is because they have no gadgets and no barbed wire to set up, because you usually run C4. Coming up is Castle. Now he is one of my least played operators. I can see his potential, but I can see so many people play him completely wrong. Now as I said, I don't play him a lot, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. The idea is that you create choke points for your enemies and not for your teammates. You should pretty much always start off reinforcing a wall. Depending on how fast your Rook is, you're gonna pick up your armor right after, eventually even place down your shield, and then you can carefully start reinforcing. Windows first, then doors. You should pretty much focus on windows most of the time. But think about which doors you're closing. You don't want to trap your teammates in the objective, so everyone can do their job and come back into the objective once they're done. As with all the other operators, use your microphone, use text, communicate. Pulse, is it okay if I lock you in? Oh, I take that as a yes. The only reason I locked him in there is because he had a hatch to escape. Also don't do things like silly me right here, where I reinforce a door that already has Capcan trap on it. When the enemies blow up this door, they're gonna blow up the trap as well. I didn't realize that at this point. Do all of those things and you will actually be a useful member to your team. Mute probably has the hardest job setting up. He is all about denying information. At the start of the round, quickly put down your jammers on all the spots where drones might come in. Reddit user Pancake Kahuna pointed out that as long as you let the drone be stuck in the jammer, they cannot spectate their teammates' drones, therefore denying even more information. Also, it is pure torture to be stuck in that glitchy screen. After you reinforce to pick up your armor, you can pick up 1 or 2 of the jammers and put them onto the reinforced walls, so thermite can't breach through. Sometimes all of this takes you a good 30 seconds into the fighting phase, but often enough that's absolutely worth it. And last but not least, we have our special snowflake, Little Chunka. Just reinforce whatever you can, pick up your armor, and then set up your turret spot. I feel like Tachanka is really hard to pull off, but I think I found a really decent spot here actually, and I thought I might as well show it off while I'm at it. You want to surround yourself with as many unbreachable walls as possible. You also want to use a shield. Just aim up and you're completely hidden and untouchable from the enemy. Then quickly aim down and just fire away. But be careful for when they start tossing grenades at you. Well, that's my turret gun. When you started the actual fighting phase, I cannot say this often enough. Use your microphone. Communication is key. Don't just scan away with your cameras. Instead, call out where the enemies are. You will keep your cameras and drones for much longer, because your enemies are not going to detect them. Of course, there's certain points where scanning is a lot better, because you can shoot someone through a wall, for example. But other than that, it only gives points, and points are utterly useless. Teamwork is the key part of this game. And if you don't work together, you lose. It's as easy as that. I see a lot of Pulse players make this mistake. Pulse is my favorite operator. And it breaks my heart to see a Pulse player that looks through the walls, sees the enemy, and then doesn't talk, doesn't write, doesn't ping. You have a wall hack. You can provide that wall hack to your entire team. You can provide so much info. Make something out of it. You do not want to know how many kills I actually gave to teammates just by pointing out that enemies are right next to them, or behind a wall perhaps. Sometimes you get info on the entire enemy team when they're breaching through one point. Now don't be that asshole that doesn't say a thing. And remember, teamwork doesn't just win you games, it's also a lot more fun. Do it! That was fucking epic, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you learned 1 or 2 new things today, and I'm happy if I could help you improve in the game. Why not give me a like or a dislike respectively, and give me some feedback in the comment section. That is also the place to tell me if I missed something. Until next time guys, see ya! Next up, we're in the meeting room, above one of the bomb spots, and we're gonna be opening up this floor, which lets us peek into the main lobby, more specifically into the main entrance. With this one, you need to be a little bit more careful, because there's 2 windows right above you. Also, you have 2 entrances into the room on the opposite sides, so this is pretty hard to guard, but if you have a friend that can watch out for you, then this should be no problem. If you ever played that